why women need emotional safety, and how men can create it. In case we haven't met yet, I'm Jess X Goh, and I'm the sole founder of Life in Confidence. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on the latest insight into trauma recovery. And if you got any nuggets of gold from this video, please give it a like, comment below what you got from it, and share it with your loved ones who need to hear this right now. So here's the thing. The best thing that a man can do to support a woman is to not label her as crazy, to let go of the judgment of how she should show up as, and instead to embrace, welcome, and accept her where she's at. Because being in a female body with a womb creates a lot of changes through her cyclical nature. And what I mean by that is that every single week when a woman is in her cycle, she is a different woman every week because of the hormonal changes. And so it's really important that men and women have a greater understanding of how a womb works, how that impacts a woman's mood, her decision making, and how she shows up for herself and for others. And women go through different life stages through the season that she's in. So, for example, the first 25 years of a woman's life is where she is a maiden. She is in the season of spring, new beginnings, new energy, new ideas. And she is in her innocence and purity, ready to explore what the world has to offer. And so with that newness in her energy is where she's at. From 25 to 50 years of life, she is a mother. Whether she is a physical mother or not is not the point. It's the energy of being in the phase of a mother. Now, the phase of the mother is the season of summer. And this is where she is at her peak in her life, where this is the potent time to really sow the seeds in her ideas, her dreams. What is it that she's ready to birth? Whether it's children, whether it's a book, whether it's a legacy, a charity, whatever it may be. And this is where she is actually more in her masculine energy. Then she prepares herself from 50 to 70, 75 years of life into the MAGA phase. And this is where she enters her autumn. She starts to slow down. She takes stock of what she has built in her summer. And this is her way of starting to find the beauty in pauses and the potency of resting and slowing down. And that her identity isn't consumed about what she has done for herself or what she has built or who she has become. It's more about just being in the season of stillness, in slowness. And this will prepare her for the death phase of her life, which is 70, 75 years to above, as a crone, her winter, where she becomes a hermit. She incubates and hibernates. She wants to disconnect from the outside world and just stay in her home, be cocooned. And this is what we experience in every week when we bleed. So you get a different woman every week as I share with you the descriptions of the 4 life cycles of a woman's life, okay? So when a woman is bleeding, she is in her death phase. She's in the crone. She's in her winter. She is shedding and detoxing through her bleed what she's been carrying for the past month that has caused her a lot of stress, perhaps a lot of emotions she's holding on to, or relationships that she needs to let go of. And so she sheds it through her bleed. And so this is a time where a woman needs to be in her stillness as much as she can, of course, and to see the potency of being in our presence through stillness. And this then propels ourselves into our week of spring. So the week where we have come out of our bleed, and this is a week of new beginnings, to start something new, to slowly socialize and reconnect with life. Then the week after that, she enters her summer, and this is where she's thriving. She can do all of the things and more. She feels unstoppable. And then the week after that, she prepares for her bleed as she enters her autumn. She starts to slow down. She starts to feel tired. Her energy starts to drop. And so this is how she shows up every single week for her cycle. And as time goes on, a woman goes from being in her pubescence, her menarche, which is her first bleed, as a tween, and navigating her identity through there. Who am I? What does it mean to bleed? What do I associate that with? Do I feel ashamed? There's something wrong with me, with my body, until we get educated about this. And so a woman needs to be educated in the identity shifts and crises that she goes through in different phases of her life. And I remember coming into a women's circle where it's just all mothers, that they shared their identity crisis and they're still processing it. And it wasn't taught to them how to navigate that. So being pregnant as a mother, they feel guilty that they still want their old identity of their life, what it's like to not be a mum, but they still want a baby. There's this feeling of guilt that I shouldn't feel this way, that I should be happy to have a baby instead of wanting my old life. And there's grief, letting go of that version of themselves to step into this identity as a mother. And then when she becomes a mother, she's also navigating her identity as a mother. And when the kids have grown up and left the nest, she then has to adjust her identity, what it's like to have a home just on her own or with her partner without the kids there anymore. So it's a massive adjustment, this grieving of old identities and letting them go through loss. And to find our joy as we navigate through these different cycles of life. And for the men who are watching this, I really hope this is a real education for you to truly understand this is what a woman goes through when she is in her cycle, her womb, her feminine body. And all of these changes, her moods, her choices, her thought patterns, it's hormonal. It changes every week. And for those who are not bleeding anymore, they're in their menopause, even though you're not shedding in a physical way, but you're still going through it energetically through your emotions. And so I know for myself, going through the symptoms of perimenopause, and at the age of 39, turning 40 this year, is that I'm noticing leading up to my bleed and the first 2 days of my bleed, I would get brain fog. I would forget where I put things or what I was supposed to do. I would feel the jitters, this high level of anxiety, sleepless nights, insomnia, and feeling anxious and unsettled. And this is because of hormonal changes. And when I discovered seed cycling, this has been a game changer in my life. I no longer feel those symptoms anymore. And I take this in the week of my bleed in my winter and the week after in my spring. And this helps me to really ground myself. I have way more energy than before, vitality, focus, concentration, and clarity. And it has really helped me to show up more for myself and for my life during my bleed. And there's a brown packet of this that I don't have, that I need to reorder. And that brown packet is for the 2 weeks when a woman is in her summer and her autumn before she sheds again. And this is a beautiful way to supplement where she's at and to balance out her hormonal changes through different phases of her life, whether it's a teen entering puberty, whether it's a woman experiencing PMS symptoms in her bleed, whether it's a woman transitioning from perimenopause to menopause, and if you're menopausal, this is for you. So if you like to get your seed cycle, you can use my code Jess X Goh for 15% off your first order, and you will also receive a free 15-minute remote womb healing session with me over the phone or over WhatsApp or Telegram. And I can identify very quickly what are the traumas that you're holding there that needs to be cleared, and I will support you in your integration process as well. So this is a really beautiful, nourishing way to be held and to get started in really elevating your experiences as a woman. And for the men who are watching this, it's just coming in with an open mind without judging your woman why she is all over the shop. And instead of being concerned, show compassion instead. Show how I can be of service to my woman. Instead of telling her, you need to change this, you need to fix this, because what it does to a woman is that she feels that she's broken. She feels that there is something wrong with her when it really is just hormonal changes. And so getting something like this for your woman is a really great start. And to get educated around a woman's cyclical nature, and that she is not going mad or crazy, it's just a lot of hormonal changes are showing up through her womb, and how to navigate that in a supportive way. So if you're a woman watching this, you're welcome to join me for my Women Online Healing Circle to let go of any distortions that you have around your womb and your feminine essence, and to recalibrate yourself back into your divine expression of the feminine within yourself. So you can join me live on Zoom or to get access to the replay for 1 month. And you can click on the link in the video description to learn more or to book your spot. I'm also running my trauma recovery workshops and retreats that I'm running for conscious relationships for singles and couples, magnetic woman, and transforming trauma, if you are up for those containers. Again, check out my links in the video description. If you prefer to work with me one-to-one, then I offer Find Yourself and Trust, my 3-month high-level container for those who are ready to transform their life 180. It's not for the faint-hearted, and I would highly recommend to watch my free webinar, Overcome the Impacts of Childhood Traumas in 3 months, to get a better understanding how I operate before you book that free clarity call with me. And you can also work with me face-to-face for a one-to-one, half-day or full-day trauma recovery retreat immersion. And that would be tailored according to your situation and your needs, working through the highest and most immediate traumatic timelines that's really impacting you right now, and how to bring yourself back into alignment, back in integration with yourself, into wholeness, into who you really are, the light that's in your heart. And so I want to leave with you this message that being a feminist doesn't make a woman. That seeking and demanding attention is not what the true expression of the feminine is. It is when she remembers who she is and to illuminate her presence from within.